The recording has started.
Cool. Thank you, Sarah. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's Mayor Manager meeting for Wednesday, August 9th. Online with me is Deputy City Clerk Sarah Harkness, City Manager Shawn Lewis, City Clerk Stephanie Carlisle, and City Attorney Tamara Niles. Mayor Pro Tem may or may not be able to join, but he did let me know that he may be running late. All right, Shawn, I'll pass it over to you.
All right, thanks, Mayor. We'll start with the August 9th meeting.
Oh, it's not, I don't see it on my screen. Are we sharing screens or no?
I see it on mine.
And what's going on?
You mean the spreadsheet?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hold on, let me see. There's
Stephanie,
two of them.
do you
open,
see
it
it?
looks like.
I can see it as well.
Interesting. All right, go ahead. I'll pull it up.
August 9th study session is City Council vacancy application interviews. Any questions about that, Mayor?
No, we start at, we're going to show up at 5:30 is the meet and greet, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, and I saw the schedule yesterday, so no, I don't have any further questions.
I do have one question. Are you expecting any staff to be there other than to kind of coordinate anything on the meet and greet?
I think that would be it. I think we're just going to be running the meeting. So no, I'm not expecting any other staff.
And including Tamara and I? I mean, I was not going to, just per my contract, avoiding the political
Right.
questions, but
I can't think of any. Tamara, is there any reason why you think that you should be involved in the meeting tonight? I can't think of any that we would need.
I was planning to come just in case
Okay.
somebody had a legal question about, I don't know, voting. For example, somebody just asked me if a P&Z member is appointed, then can they vote on the code next, given they already served in a quasi-judicial capacity in the matter? And the answer is no, they couldn't. They would be, they couldn't vote on it. They'd have to recuse themselves. So just
Okay.
in case a legal issue comes up, I was planning to come.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, I wasn't sure what type of legal questions may come up, but yeah, that would make sense if there may be others. Okay, perfect.
okay, thank you. Moving on to August 14th, we have a number of study session items. Development and infrastructure placeholder, that's actually we firmed up, and it's going to be a report on how development and infrastructure coincide. Review Budget Advisory Committee Annual Report, draft proposed 2024 operating and capital budget, 2022-23 snow season recap and plan overview. And then executive session for employee evals. Any questions on any of those? All right, moving on to, do you have anything, Sarah?
We could use some presentation and discussion time for the development and infrastructure item.
Yeah, I talked to Victor and Peter about that, and we think, and Brad, we think presentation will be 30 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
So are we thinking a 20-minute discussion from council? Like, how heavy of an item is that?
I think it just depends on the number of questions. We're just talking about, what capacity we do and don't have, areas of concern within the city with regard to infrastructure and how that could be impacted by development. So it's a pretty, weighty topic.
I was going to say that sounds like it could be easily a 30-minute discussion, maybe even longer.
Okay.
So let's put it at least down for 30, and then, yeah, we'll see where
Okay.
we are at the end of all these items.
Okay.
And for the Budget Advisory Committee Annual Report, we're looking for discussion time.
I can see that going about 15 to 30 minutes. So let's put 20 on there for now.
Okay. And the draft proposed 2024 operating and capital budget discussion time, or I believe that's actually 1.5 combined.
I was wondering about that. I think that normally we go,
Yeah, that is normally combined, yeah.
okay. All right.
And then we have that one set and we're good.
All right, so it could be a long evening. Okay, cool. No further questions.
All right, moving on to August 21st, we have a study session on Civic Center and Eve Security Services. Study session on Big Dry Creek. Resolution regarding agreement with Eve to transfer all assets to the city. Public hearing Title 16, 2023 Q2 strategic plan update. And permission to purchase emergency radio equipment. Electrical instrumentation and control contract renewals. Amendment to professional services agreement with EDS Architects. City municipal code changes, lead reduction program. That's second reading. Second reading of recall special election certification. Second reading of MOU with the ATF. First reading of an, are we still on the 21st? Yes.
Yeah.
First reading of the MOU between Inglewood Police Department and Arapahoe County Human Services, Child Protective Services. First reading of an ordinance to adopt National Electric Code. IGA for Tri-Cities, Homeless Navigation Center. First reading of an ordinance for customer service standards, cable TV customer service standards. First reading of an ordinance approving Comcast cable TV franchise agreement. And that is it. Do you want to go ahead and answer some consent questions, Mayor?
Let's do that.
Okay.
Then I was going to ask if there's anything that we could push to another date. This looks like a massive meeting, but let's go through consent.
Okay. Let's see. We need consent for electrical instrumentation and control contract renewals.
This is for utilities, right, Sarah?
Let me scroll over. I believe so. Yes.
Yeah.
We covered this yesterday in water and sewer. I'm going to say yes to consent, but I can easily see this getting pulled.
Okay.
And then the amendment to a professional service agreement with IDS Architects.
We're going to leave that one off consent based off of questions we had during water and sewer yesterday.
Okay. And let's see. The MOU between the Inglewood PD and Arapahoe County Human Services, Child Protection.
I would say yes.
And first reading to adopt 2023 National Electrical Code.
I would say yes, but I can see that getting pulled.
Okay.
I don't think that we discussed this a few months back, did we not, Shawn?
Well, we did the, the building codes.
We
This
did
one is
build.
just following a little bit further behind.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Did I say yes to that one already?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we have approve a bill for an ordinance to repeal Inglewood Municipal Code Title 12, Chapter 6, Cable TV Customer Standards.
I would say no to that one. I'm just thinking of Steve here, so.
Okay.
And
then
Mayor, I'll just weigh in on that one because I thought it would be appropriate for consent.
Okay.
All we're doing is taking it out of municipal code and we're putting it in a franchise contract. So
Okay.
there's no substantive change. This is more of a cleanup because it's specific contractual provisions shouldn't be a law, shouldn't be in municipal code.
Okay. All right. Let's flip it to consent then.
And then Mayor, Tim has offered if we needed to move if you wanted to move something off, we could move the strategic plan to September 5th. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, let's do that.
Then our last one is the ordinance approving Comcast cable TV franchise agreement.
And I can weigh in on this one as well.
Yep.
it's the same as what we have now. There's only, I think, 4 changes. One is we're getting a $30,000 grant for our
Right.
online streaming from Comcast.
Mhm.
We are increasing their insurance requirements by $2 million from 1 million to 3 million, reducing the letter of credit required from 100,000 to 25,000 because that more aligns with if we would ever have to rely on it, that would be the amount we would need.
Right.
But otherwise, it's the same. It's a
Yeah.
standard form state contract.
I want to say yes. Let's put it at yes, and then we can discuss it again next week.
Okay.
All right, so moving on, moving on to August 28th, we have a study session on administrative study results, charges to the enterprise fund and component units, July monthly financial report, youth advisory board interviews, and presentation on potential emergency ordinance to operate without a city council quorum. This is something that Tamara talked to me about, and I've reviewed. Basically, on a worst case scenario, how do we approve contracts that are time sensitive without a council in place?
Right. Okay. Sounds good.
Do you have any idea about what time you want to start the youth advisory board interviews? We're going to start reaching out to see if people are available that day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wonder if that should be the first thing, since
It should be the first thing, and I'm wondering whether or not we start at 5:30 or 5. Could we try to start at 5:30?
Yeah.
Sarah, can you start reaching out and seeing at 5:30? And just,
Yeah, definitely.
just feel it out in terms of what. Well, are we thinking about doing the round robin, Shawn, that you and I discussed where?
I
so not-
defer to Sarah
Yeah.
and Stephanie. I know they've talked about it a little bit more.
I think that makes sense, just because I don't want all 6 of us grilling the youth advisory board. So okay, yeah, I think that probably makes the most sense. See if we can start at 5:30, and then possibly conclude it by how many do we have how many candidates do we have right now?
I believe we have 9 right now.
Okay. Yeah, so we might be able to get that all done within an hour if we do the
think-
round robin.
I think so as well. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'll start reaching out to them. Thank you.
Okay. Tamara, do you have any issue with that round robin approach where all city council members are sitting separately, and then the youth candidates come and we ask them the question one-on-one, and then they move to the next candidate afterwards, or excuse me, to the next council member? I'm just wondering how if there's an issue there in terms of just streaming wise or public wise, anything like that.
All the law requires is that we make the meeting open to the public,
Okay.
so that anybody could observe.
Okay.
It would be unusual to do that, but it's legally compliant.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
All right, moving on to August 29th, we have the Affordable Housing Task Force interviews. And actually, that's the only item.
Mm-hmm.
Except, any questions on that, Mayor?
No questions.
September 5th, the resolution appointing city hearing officers, workforce development proclamation, National Hispanic Heritage Month proclamation, Constitution Week proclamation, motion to approve amendments to council policies, first reading Title 16 Code Next, first reading IGA with Arapahoe County accepting the grant from Bates Logan. If you haven't heard, Mayor, we got 600,000.
Yay. I have not heard.
What's that?
I have not heard. That's great.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if we've even pushed that out on socials yet. First reading IGA between the City of Inglewood and Arapahoe County Board of Commissioners. Let's scroll over, Sarah, and remind me what that is. On that left, the IGA. Oh, countywide transit and micromobility study, right? Okay. Any questions on those?
No, nothing.
Moving on to September 11th, interview meeting facilitators for Affordable Housing Task Force meetings, and 2024 budget public hearing.
Okay.
Study session on September 18th, presentation on proposed ordinance for massage business license, construction manager, general contractor agreement for utilities, office improvements, second reading, Title 16 code next. Did I miss first reading?
Maybe that should be the first reading. Let's see. I think.
No, it's second reading.
Oh,
Oh.
First
yeah.
reading was after the Tuesday after Labor Day.
Oh, great. Well, thanks for plugging that in, Sarah. I appreciate that. We asked for that last week or this week. September 25th, we have, and then the 2024 budget ordinance is first reading, also on the 18th. On the 25th, budget workshop for 2024 placeholder, EDDA budget proposal, 2023 monthly financial report. You want to go into October, Mayor?
No, I think we're fine. I think that's good.
Okay.
All right. Perfect. Any council requests? I think I have just the ones from Member Russell.
Yes, we actually had one additional from Steve. So for the one from Steve was, what's the difference between the caliber study and the HDR study? And I actually added a little more detail to that.
Okay.
Addressing weeds in Broadway medians. What are the fees charged for National Night Out street closures? The July 25th due date for sewer bills was set, but the bills were delayed. And then the plaque for the Citizen of the Year, which I was notified yesterday, has been delivered. So
okay.
We'll have, I think, all of these except for the difference between caliber and HDR in Friday update.
Okay. Cool. All right. Anything else from you, Shawn?
Not I.
Anything else from staff?
Yes, Mayor, I have two things. First, with the appointment of a new council member, we normally adopt a resolution appointing council liaisons to various boards. When we appoint someone to fill the vacancy for 2 to 3 months, do you want us to bring forward a resolution putting that person on the same boards as Councilmember Wink, or is it sufficient that with their appointment to fill Councilmember Wink's term that they step into the liaison role? How would you like to see that?
I think that would be fine, the latter. So
okay, I agree, and I was just thinking how full our agendas are.
Yeah.
We can avoid another resolution just for a cleanup item. That's my preference.
Right.
Second, another council member had asked what the process would be for the city to bring back up the the dog and cat ordinance.
Right.
Of course, it didn't pass because it was a 3-3 vote.
Uh-huh.
And so I looked into it. I've let them know 2 ways to set something on the agenda, of course, is through this process, the mayor manager meeting, or a council member can bring it up under a council member's choice. And I also looked at our motion for reconsideration to see, can someone bring it back up? They can. Our code on motion for reconsideration says nothing herein prohibits a council member from making a motion for a second time, essentially bringing it back. So I suggested they bring it up in council member's choice. And then if there's a consensus to look at it again, we'll add it to the agenda again.
Okay. Sounds good. Perfect. Anything else, Tamara?
No, that's all I had.
All right. Anything else from staff?
Nothing from us.
Cool. All right, everyone. Well, that concludes today's mayor manager meeting. Everyone, I'll see some of you tonight. Have a great day.
Good night.
Bye.
Good one.